Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, folks, just 24 hours after one of the worst blown calls by an umpire, the New York Mets are back to winning ways, beating the Nationals 2-0 on the backs of great pitching. Clay Holmes, great job, but the bullpen, an even better job holding down the win. Holmes is now 3-1, and the New York Mets still the best record in all of baseball. Gotta feel good, gotta feel good. And we still have that 5 game lead over the Phillies, although it should be 6, but what are you gonna do? And I'm telling you, that play on Friday, it feels like it's gonna haunt me for the rest of the season. Gotta get over it. Gotta get over it. But you know the thing, at the end of the day, I know some people who are not Mets fans. It's sour grapes. Uh, it was a triple play. It wasn't 1 out. It wasn't 2 outs. It was 3 outs on a botch call, and the guy. It was just human emotion. Not even huddling with the umpires. Not even trying to get it right. I understand people, will blow calls, but you gotta try, especially when it's a 3 out situation. You gotta try. And the fact that Marquez, the umpire, aka the blind didn't even try, that's what got me the most upset. All right, so let's get to the next day. And the New York Mets turn the page. They're better than me. And they take care of business. And before we discuss that, let's get this video started off right. Hit that like button, subscribe. We would love to have you join the channel. If you are not a member, if you are seeing this for the first time, thank you so much. Welcome. We're a passionate channel here. We love our baseball. We love our New York Mets. All right, folks. So here's the story, folks. Yesterday was the prototypical formula for how the Mets have disposed of teams. And if you are an opponent of the New York Mets have proven that they are very, very tough to beat. Very tough to beat because if you look at where they rank, they are the best pitching team in all of baseball, bar none, bar none. The San Diego Padres, they've done good, but the Mets have done that much better. The Mets have the best earner average in all of baseball at 2.36, and that is, it's far better than the Padres. The Padres are 2.77. The Mets have only allowed 63 earned runs on the year. The Padres, 73. But how are the Mets doing it? Well, they're attacking the strike zone. They are inducing a lot of ground balls. They have allowed the least home runs in all of baseball. They've only allowed 10 home runs. The second least is the Padres and the Pirates. They've allowed double at 20. So it just kind of shows you that the Mets pitchers are keeping the ball in the park. They are utilizing the good defense of the Mets, and they are keeping the ball on the ground. Like Clay Holmes yesterday, perfect example. And that was one of the reasons why I love Clay Holmes, because he was a ground ball king when he came here. He always he was always in the 96, 97, 98 percentile in getting ground balls. So yesterday, Clay Holmes, after the rain delay, you were looking for this guy to actually give us a good performance after the emotional game the night before, and he did it. He did, folks. This guy is showing you, to be a legit two. Clay Holmes, I repeat, is showing you he's a legit two, maybe a 1B. So far, Clay Holmes is 3-1. He's got a 2.64 ERA. Yesterday went 5 innings, 4 hits. And he attacked the zone. Not his best game, but he's showing you he doesn't even have to have his best stuff. The kick change, the sinker, just inducing ground balls anytime he needs. It's just so It's special to watch, folks. It is special to watch because, this is a guy I like when we signed him, but he's just showing you how valuable he is. And yesterday, the bullpen, great job as well. Danny Young, no runs, comes in. Reed Garrett, Mr. ERA 0-0, comes in, no runs. Minter came in for a bit. It looks like he has a strain in his tricep. Let's not go crazy yet. Let's see how serious that is. And besides, we got Daniel Nunez coming back, and Stearns has shown he's had a propensity of doing well in the bullpen. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. And Edwin Diaz coming back from that tight hit the other day, he looks good. So that is good. That is really good that Diaz looked good. He struck out the side. In a few moments, I want to talk about Jeff McNeil. I want to talk about Brandon Nimmo. There's a couple of topics I need your opinions on, so stick around. Let's just get to some of the highlights. The big highlight, top of the second inning. The New York Mets, they started off not so good in the top of the second inning. They made actually two quick outs. Brandon Nimmo, Mark Vientos, out. Jesse Winker has a single, and Francisco Alvarez, second game back, folks. Second game back. Guy gets a high. It looked like it was high and inside, and he inside outs the ball. Literally, inside outs the ball down the right field line. Oppo, 350-foot bomb. 350-foot bomb. Not many hitters in baseball can inside out a pitch and hit it 350 feet away. Didn't look like he made great contact, but it just shows you how special this kid is, folks. This is the type of talent that we thought we were getting years and years ago when he was coming up through the minors. I mean, this kid is special. Defensively, he does a great job. The pitchers love to throw to him. I mean, he threw out a guy yesterday, 2 days ago. So he's good defensively. The pitchers love to throw to him. He calls a great game. He's good at framing. But offensively, that's where this kid could be special. And mark my word, the New York Mets have an issue in their lineup. They have an issue in their lineup because, you got two guys who are very, very hot. Very hot. Lindor, and you have Mr. Pete Alonso. But the problem why this lineup is not flowing, and I expect Soto to get going soon, so I'm not worried about the 2-hole, but the fact of the matter is the 2 and the 4-hole are, you got Lindor and then a guy who's not hot, and then you got Alonso and a guy who's not hot in Nimmo. So that's where you have an issue with the lineup not flowing. Expect soon, especially if Nimmo continues to struggle. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Álvarez is going to be moved up to the 4th or 5th hole in a couple of weeks. I really wouldn't because Álvarez has the talent. He has the ability. I've always foresaw that as in him as batting higher in the lineup. Ideally number 5, but it's just tough. It is really tough. I mean, I expect Vientos to get it going. But Nimmo is really, really disappointing me. Yesterday, he had opportunities to enhance the lead. He had opportunities in the second inning to lead up the inning. But what do I have here in my notes? In the top of the third inning, yeah, that was his golden opportunity. The Mets, after scoring 2 runs in the second, in the third inning, they had 2 men on, 2 outs. Alonso had just singled, and I'm like, okay, this is Brandon Nimmo's time to shine. And he flies out yet again. Brandon is batting 200 on the season. And I know he's had some injury issues. I believe he had knee issues before the season. And prototypically those things don't get better as guys get age. As guys age, those don't get better, and we have him for another 6 years. I'm not saying he's going to be a crap player, but Brandon was a guy most of his career hitting 270, 280 on base, close to 400. Now he's barely hitting close to the Mendoza line. Last year he hit in the 220. Last year, Brandon Nimmo. In fact, let me give you Brandon Nimmo's exact batting average. He did produce in the power and RBI category, so I give him that. I give him credit for that. But in terms of the batting average, last year he was 224. 224. Year before that, 274. Year before that, 274. The year before that, 292. The year before that, 280. So, I mean, before last year, Brandon Nimmo was a different hitter. Last year, he went to more power, but I'm not saying I'm concerned yet, but I need to see something quickly from Brandon Nimmo because he is hurting us immensely in the cleanup spot and doing this type of damage to us. And I know on Friday we spoke about Brandon Nimmo in the boneheaded play, and Brandon Nimmo apologized. He normally doesn't make that play. But the reason why I highlighted it is because it was such a boneheaded play, folks. That is the play where you learn in Little League. You learn in Little League when you get the ball in the outfield to throw to the cutoff man. You throw to the cutoff man. I don't know why he's throwing to third base. No clue why he's throwing to third base. Number one, I mean, his head wasn't in the game, and that is inexcusable, and that allowed essentially the winning run because we ended up losing by 1 run. So the Nationals getting that man to scoring position, leading to a run, and also to momentum. We lost momentum in the second inning by that silly, stupid play. So here's the thing, Brandon, you're not hitting, and you're susceptible to those type of plays. You don't have the best arm. You really got to show your value. You have to show your value. Otherwise, the Mets are really going to have to look at the outfield a bit different and really restructure. And okay, so Nimmo was speaking about, very disappointed in him. McNeil, he's another one. McNeil is somebody over the last 2 days, and I've seen probably 100 comments about McNeil. I've seen articles about McNeil, about how the fans are sick of him already. Here's the deal about McNeil, and I know why people are upset. They're upset because he's taking time away from the youngsters, and essentially Brett Beatty got sent down for him. And Brett Beatty, this is the future. This is the kid who, in my opinion, has more potential. I mean, Jeff McNeil at this point is a slap hitter. He could play all around the infield, but we have other guys who could play different positions as well. Jeff McNeil, what he does well is he doesn't strike out. He's a contact guy. His whiff rate is always in the close to the 90th percentile, so he doesn't swing and miss. So contact, doesn't strike out. That's his strength. But the thing is, he's got to have the right approach at the plate. He's not a power guy. No uppercut, no pop-ups. The amount of pop-ups that I saw in 2024, I mean, it was just abysmal. It was so frustrating watching Jeff and his approach, hitting that uppercut, flying out the center field, left center field, right center field. It's just not the right approach. In 2022, when he was the batting champ, 21% of his hits went to right field. Last year, only 15% of his hits went to right field. I'm sorry, left field. So in 2022, he went oppo 21% of the time. Last year, he went oppo only 15% of the time. He needs to use the whole field. He's not a power guy. He is not a power guy. And in the bottom line with Jeff, he has to show that he brings positive value to this team and he can impact the Mets winning. If he doesn't show any positive value and he doesn't impact winning, folks, it's going to be a short leash. It's going to be a short leash. Expect Brett Beatty. Expect Acuna to take his time. He's not going to play just to play. It's not going to happen. I know he has the contract making $15 million this year. He's making $15 million next year. And then the Mets have an option for 2027. So this is essentially a 2-year contract, $15 million a year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And same thing goes with Nimmo. If the Mets have an alternative option that gives us a better chance at winning and makes us better, they're going to go to those options. They're not going to hug the players just because they're paying them, just because they're homegrown, just because they like the guys. No, it's about winning. David Stearns, that's his philosophy. It is about winning. All right. So again, the game yesterday, the Mets were able to hold on to that 2-0 game. And again, the bullpen did great. Lindor doing phenomenal. Lindor had 3 hits throughout the game, and Lindor, you give him credit. The Mets tried to get things going, and every single time the Mets tried to get something going, it started with Francisco Lindor. It frankly started with Francisco Lindor. I mean, even the top of the third, that Brandon Nimmo ended up flying out. Brandon Nimmo started. I'm sorry, Francisco Lindor started it off with a single. Pete Alonso, single. And of course, like this is my complaint. Lindor singles, out Soto. Pete Alonso singles, out Nimmo. I mean, that's the flow of the lineup. It's not working. And then in the top of the 5th inning, the Mets try to get it going again. Jeff McNeil singles. Acuna grounds it to double play. Again, Lindor singles, and then you have Soto grounding out. So he had an opportunity, but it was squashed in the 5th inning as well. Then you had one more time. The Mets tried to get things going in the 9th inning, get some insurance runs. You have Pete Alonso walk. Then you have a Brandon Nimmo strikeout, and this is the one that actually frustrated me more. In the 3rd inning, yes, he had an opportunity to cash him at runners in scoring position. But here's the deal: in the 9th inning, you are looking for an insurance run. It's 2-0. Striking out with a man on first base. You have to make a productive out. Get the runner to second base. Striking out is the worst thing you could do. He strikes out. Mark Vientos is up. He singles, so it's first and second. Jesse Winker is up, but unfortunately, Jesse Winker would pop up, and Francisco Alvarez, he had an opportunity as well. He struck out. All right. So again, we're going to look for Nimmo to get a lot better. He's batting 200. Vientos batting 193. Soto batting 235. Winker batting 200. So we're just going to continue to harp on the guys that we need to get going because that's an issue. That certainly is an issue. So, folks, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I mean, the offense, if you compare our offense to last year's offense at this time, we're about comparable. Like, we are comparable. We have the same, almost same stats, same amount of runs. Everything is almost the same. But you have to remember, this offense, this team's offense was predicted to be like top 3 in baseball. When you add $800 million in payroll and you add Juan Soto, you don't add this guy to be the same, have the same offense. You add to be, elite. And then you figure, obviously, you started off Lindor starting off like a superstar. Pete Alonso starting off like a superstar. I mean, your offense should be worlds better than last year at this time. Worlds better. But having the same offense, not good. And then if you look at where this offense ranks in terms of Major League, like we're in the middle of the pack in runs, we're in the middle of the pack in home runs, in slugging percentage, we're 13th in average, we're 19th. So it's all the middle of the pack, which spells out mediocre. Not good. Not good, folks. So the good thing is we have a lot of room to grow. I know I kind of sound like, the Mets just lost, but at the end of the day, the goal is to win a World Series. So, once this offense gets going and the pitching, the pitching's not going to be able to sustain this level because this is all time. I mean, 2.36 team ERA. I mean, that is phenomenal. Even Steve Cohen says, enjoy it now because the pitching at this level is not sustainable. It's not. So, but at the end of the day, when the bats should be able to compensate once the pitching maybe levels out a bit. All right, folks, let me know what you think. Leave your comments. What do you think about McNeil, the McNeil situation? What do you think about the Nimmo situation, the lineup? Alvarez, I mean, I think moving him up in the lineup, that's going to be a very viable option. But yep, that's what I got, folks. And if you got any more questions or if you got any more comments about that call on Friday night, one more thing too. I know Diaz was brought into the game yesterday. He got that big save, but my big thing too, like I wanted Diaz to come in on Friday. I know he had the hip thing 2 days prior, but Mendoza said he was available, number one. And that game was such an emotional win. I just thought it was such an important game for us to take that game on Friday. I don't know how you thought, but we went with Stanek. Stanek ends up giving up the triple, ends up blowing the lead, blowing the save. I don't know. That's just another thing. What do you think? All right, folks. Thank you. Have a great day.